It's Gorman in the Morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the Morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Good Tuesday morning. It is July 29th. I'm here for the next, long while.
Wow.
With Paul Fletcher.
Hi.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. I'm trying to get her going.
Ryder.
I don't know what we're going to do today, but I'm sure it'll be great.
Thank you, Ryder. Yes. It is. We're already great. Now it's just a matter of not sliding back under great. We have peaked great already. So let's just stay. Let's stay right here at this level, shall we?
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm feeling Minnesota. Paul Fletcher, give me some headlines.
God, by the way, side note, how the hell are we at the end of July already? Just asking for a friend. It's crazy.
That's how the calendar works, man.
It moves quicker and quicker, baby.
It does seem like it. Minnesota has begun issuing the nation's first advanced child tax credit payments, according to Revenue Commissioner Paul Marquardt. I think that's how you say it. More than 17,000 families opted to receive part of their 2025 credit in 3 installments, July, September, and November, with an average payment of $446. He added, quote, school supply expenses are coming up. There might be a car repair. There might be bills to pay. Since launching in 2023, Minnesota's child tax credit has delivered over $1 billion to families statewide.
Keep it coming.
Yeah, I got all those problems and I don't have kids.
Except back to school. You don't have to deal with that, right?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I need to buy some pencils and books, clearly.
Sure you do.
An experimental birth control pill for men has passed its first human safety trial. The hormone-free pill works by blocking the production of little swimmers without causing serious side effects. A lot more testing is required, but so far, so good, they say. The researchers believe the drug could be available for the public by the end of the decade.
End of the decade?
Yeah.
God forbid anyone ever wear a condom. But it doesn't feel the same.
You know, for a very long time, one of my favorite pickup lines was, "Hi, my name is blank, and I've had a vasectomy." So I'm just going to throw that out there.
Sure. It's an even better line when it's true.
All right.
The doctor said it worked. It's not my fault. Anyway, I got a Greyhound bus ticket for San Diego.
Okay. Do we know what any of these so-called side effects are? Is it being a little moody? Is it maybe some aches and pains?
I don't know, but if there are any of that, men won't be able to handle it.
Oh, God,
Fuck up, boys.
No, come on. We've gone this long being the biggest wuss bags ever. Why would we get tough now?
Why would we change now?
It's amazing. I watch what my wife goes through every month. If I get even a little bit of a pain in my tummy, I'm down for the count, sitting in a fetal position in the bed in the bedroom. A petition has launched to rename Birmingham Airport in honor of Ozzy Osbourne. The petition, initiated by Dan Hudson, a UK radio host and comedian, highlights Ozzy's significant contributions to music and culture, particularly as the lead vocalist of Black Sabbath. Hudson's petition says naming the airport after Ozzy would be a fitting tribute to his extraordinary career and impact on the arts. Other famous personalities, such as George Best, soccer player, and John Lennon, have airports named after them, and Hudson believes it's the only right to honor Ozzy in a similar manner.
I will admit fully to when you started talking about this, you said Birmingham, and I was like, why would someone in Alabama want to name an airport after Ozzy Osbourne?
No, there's another one.
Birmingham.
Birmingham, is that how we say it?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Birmingham. Don't you watch Peaky Blinders? Come on, man.
I don't.
Get that Brummie accent going.
You know what? I don't have that.
You got the John Lennon International Airport, obviously, in Liverpool. You got Louis Armstrong in New Orleans.
Yes.
That's a pretty great one. Mm-hmm. In Salzburg, Austria, you've got the W.A. Mozart Airport.
Really?
That's a pretty strong one. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. That's pretty good. Warsaw, Poland, the Chopin. And a few others, several other classic. John Lennon was a stretch. Not that obviously his impact speaks for itself, but I was just amazed that many people were cool enough to say, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah.
Louis Armstrong didn't surprise me. You'd expect that from New Orleans, but Liverpool, well done. Birmingham, England, going with Ozzy. Come on, man. The gambler in me says less than a 50-50 shot, but boy, it would be something.
It would be very cool.
But so you're both signing the petition.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Come on, man.
All right.
Well, if you don't, they're not going to call it Geezer Butler Airport. I mean, you might as well go with Ozzy.
That'd be cool, too.
That'd be really cool.
Over the weekend at Comic-Con in San Diego, a Stormtrooper helmet from the original Star Wars movie was auctioned off for a staggering...
Hold on. $173,000.
Ryder.
243.
Did you look?
Did
you look?
Did I? I don't think I did.
$256,000.
Nice.
For a Stormtrooper helmet?
Correct.
Not the whole uniform, just the helmet.
Correct.
Wow.
This is an original stunt helmet believed to be featured in scenes on Tatooine and is one of only 6 known to exist in private collections. So incredibly rare. And then you think about the impact of the first Star Wars movie. Yeah.
The only helmet I want is the one where the guy actually bumps his head on and they left it in the movie. You know, there's one scene where the Stormtrooper...
Uh-huh.
If it's that helmet, okay, I'll go $260K. Otherwise, no, keep your helmet.
What about Darth helmet? Would you...
That'd be pretty strong.
You know, Jim from our promotions department was out at Comic-Con.
Is that true?
Yes, it is absolutely true.
Right
so
on.
I don't know if he's got the resources to make this happen, but I would be real stoked for him.
I'm sure we'll find out as soon as he gets back.
Yes.
Wow. Man, that sounds pretty cool. Severe storms wreaked damage across the Twin Cities, leaving more than 120,000 households without power on Tuesday evening as of 11:30. Wind gusts were in excess of 70 miles an hour, even triggering weather sirens in the southern Twin Cities. Widespread reports of trees down. Flights into MSP were even diverted. And with all of that said, we actually kind of got lucky. That derecho that was possible actually came together in northern Iowa with hurricane-level wind gusts in excess of 120 miles an hour recorded.
Yeah, suck it, Iowa.
Man, that's what you get.
Jeez, take it easy.
Oh, no, the corn.
Jeez.
Hey, I'm still pissed about that 85 game in Ann Arbor, so screw Iowa. Wow. Chuck Long. I knew he was never going to make it in the NFL.
You know what they said when I lived in Des Moines for 6 months here, 9 months, sorry. You know what the abbreviation or the acronym for Iowa was when
What's that?
Idiots out walking around. That's
Sure.
what they used to say.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
They still say it.
They do.
Do that. Wow, hurtful.
Just saying.
They're
they
people
got,
too.
They got an Iowa. There's a special chip on the shoulder attitude down there.
Uh-huh.
At least that's what they said in The Music Man. Anyway, moving on.
Passengers were forced to flee smoking jet on an emergency slide after a landing gear problem at Denver Airport. It looks scary, but all 173 passengers and 6 crew members were safely evacuated. People took time to grab items from the overhead bin, which is interesting. They are not supposed to do that in an emergency. Another reason crews continue to explain things at the beginning of every single flight.
Here's what it sounded like as they're getting off the plane.
All right.
You okay? No, he's not.
Leave room for the fire truck. Watch out for the fire truck. Everybody, remain calm. Fire's here. Fire's here.
You hear some, watch out for the fire truck.
Yeah,
it's pulling them.
Yeah.
They're all going down the slide, which looks really fun if your plane's not on fire.
That's very true. But there's always that question, what would I do if? And we have the answer. Yeah, we'd all grab our carry-on, apparently. Because every picture I saw, everyone's got their carry-on.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like
backpack.
if I could jump into the overhead bin and grab my backpack, I probably would.
Yeah. I think it's very difficult to imagine just leaving anything behind. You know, your whole life, you're like checking your pockets, make sure you got everything.
Yeah.
And even in a situation like that, you're like, well, I got to grab my laptop.
No.
Now, you can't get another laptop. There's no way you could replace that.
A lot of people I saw going down the slide had kids too, though, and it's like I saw them grabbing the kids' stuff.
No. Leave the kids in the overhead. Come on,
the
guys.
kids. Oh,
Yeah,
right,
that's
right.
where they belong.
Grab the backpack.
Put your mask on first and put the kid in the overhead. I listen to these safety announcements. I know what to do.
Paul Walter Hauser is going to play Bruce Springsteen's guitar tech, Mike Batlin, in Deliver Me From Nowhere. And he used to live in a Los Angeles area house that was previously owned by Springsteen, Paul Walter Hauser, that is. Reminder, by the way, Deliver Me From Nowhere hits theaters on October 24th. But here's Paul Walter Hauser talking about his time at that home.
Gnarly, weird stuff going down. But the happy stuff is that we conceived our second child in Bruce's old bedroom. Hey. So when I met Bruce, I said, I used to live in your old house. He goes, I heard. What? And I was like, I conceived a child in your old bedroom. He goes, so did I. I'm like, we're locational Eskimo brothers, and we hugged it out. It was insane.
Wow.
It was the funniest first conversation to have with an icon.
Okay, just off the top.
Locational Eskimo brothers.
Pretty sure I can tell you where both my children were conceived. It never occurred to me to look into anyone else ever get this done here. But now I'm going to have to. Well, never mind. Enough said.
Okay.
Fair enough. Laundromats that also feature full-service bars that serve alcohol have been around for decades. I've never heard of these. That's kind of cool. But now it seems more and more of these laundry bars are popping up around the country. Industry insiders have seen customers respond in a big way because the laundry bars create community spaces where people can relax and socialize, which kind of takes the sting out of doing the crappy job of laundry. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world. You're there sitting waiting for your clothes, right?
I'm a fan of doing laundry. Always have been. I'm a fan of drinking beer.
Yes.
Always have been. Early 90s, first time I went to a laundromat that had beer. It was in Cincinnati, and it was called, hardly the only place called this, Duds and Suds.
Yes.
And I thought I had entered the future. I was like, now someone has got a plan, and this is it. And I was thrilled. I told everyone, if you're in Cincinnati, go to this place right across the street from Bogart's. It's the club everybody plays. It's fantastic.
It seems strange that they're just now starting to pop up everywhere. It makes good sense.
My parents would tell me stories about the Suds and Duds here, and that would have been in the late 70s. So maybe we rotated out. We're rotating it back in. I usually do my drinking after my choring, so I like doing them simultaneous. This is a good plan.
Yeah, and I'm not kidding. Big fan of all the chores. I'm always happy to do laundry. I like a folded basket of laundry like no one's business.
See, and I can't stand it. I'm more of a vacuum guy.
All right, fair enough. I've just remembered another one. I went to one in the early 90s, and it blew my mind. But I've been to several. When I used to be on the road all the time, I would do my own laundry on tour.
Oh, yeah.
You only got to send it out and have someone do it once and ruin your clothes, and then you're like, I guess I'll be in charge of this. But I also had the thing where, like going golfing on days off, if I knew if I went to a laundromat, I wouldn't see another person from the Black Crowes there. Great place to get out and just get your own space.
Everybody else had dirty clothes.
Go to a laundromat. I don't know what they did. I never asked, but I know that none of them knew how to do laundry. So, but I found a lot of those places over the years, and it was always a welcome respite. Get it, go out there, have a couple of local drafts. Get a little bit of a buzz. Mm-hmm. Enjoy the folding of a basket of clothes.
The bosses are always talking about making this more of a community space. Our studio's right here. I think we have a winning idea for them. I want a laundromat. I want a bar in this building. We have space.
We do have space.
What? And we have the perfect job to do you get those commercial breaks. It's like, go ahead and switch the cycles out. Keep them going. And come on, man.
Bartender, can we get a couple shots quick here?
This would be fantastic. Drinking, yapping, and laundry. Mm-hmm. The new KQ.
Well, in a day and age of screens and more screens, what an opportunity. Just go out and something you're tied down. You have to do it anyway. Why not do it with some friends in society? On average, Americans spend more than 10 hours a day online, split between things like work, social media, and streaming. Humans need at least 7 hours of sleep to recover, restore, and apparently reprieve from constant doom scrolling. Here's how that breaks down. More than 10 hours a day online. 5.4 of those are spent on work, reading emails, paying bills, browsing, and looking at social media. And they spend another 5 hours streaming entertainment, watching movies, shows. 55% of them use their TV to stream content, followed by 25% who mostly use computers and tablets, and 20% who use their phone.
I have a headache just thinking about it.
So I work 8 hours. There's 8 hours, and then I watch a 2-hour movie, and then that's it.
Yeah,
that seems kind of low to me.
It's
I personally don't think we count TV streaming as online use because it's just a different way to watch TV.
Screen's a screen, man.
Yeah.
Screen's a screen.
It is.
Okay, so then if we watch separate TV on cable, perhaps, do we lop that in with this?
Screen's a screen. It's all the same. It's all rotting your brain, baby. Every bit of it.
Damn straight.
Guilty as charged.
Yes.
My brain is mush.
Oh, I'm enlightened by all the documentaries I've watched.
Mm-hmm.
Sports is a whole different ballgame.
It is a whole different ballgame. Minnesota Twins played baseball yesterday against the Boston Red Sox, and as you may expect, there was a 90-minute delay during a thunderstorm. And then, afterwards, all was well. Deshaun Kersey cracked his second homer of the season, and then after that 90-minute thunderstorm, sparked the ninth-inning rally with a leadoff single. Brooks Lee finished it off with a walk-off. The Twins, shockingly, come from behind to beat the Red Sox.
All right.
5-4. I don't know that there's much left for the season except to be the spoiler for a bunch of other teams. 40 of their final 56 games are against teams that are in the playoffs already or within just a few games of a spot. Sure. So they're just going to be ruining people's plans, hopefully. Also, the Twins sent Chris Paddock to the Tigers. 29-year-old right-hander had started more games than anybody else for us this year. They are saying to him, basically, hey, we appreciate all you're doing, so we're going to send you somewhere where you might actually win something.
That's fair.
He's got to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame second baseman Ryne Sandberg. A lot of people, favorite Cubby ever, a beloved member of the Chicago Cubs, passed away yesterday, 65 years old. He had metastatic prostate cancer. Rhino, 15 years with the Cubs. My man had 9 straight Gold Gloves at second base.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's good.
One of the very few second basemen with 282 home runs and 300 steals, one of only 3 all time. He is as I said, a legendary Cub for on and off the field. One of the greatest dudes. I forget how many Cubs fans I know, but man, this morning my Facebook and Instagram feed is just all the love for Rhino. 65 years old. Gentlemen, get that prostate checked every year. Don't mess around with that stuff.
100%. And not my favorite Cub of all time, my favorite ball player of all time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, growing up, I mean, I watched the Twins, definitely like the Twins. I'm a Minnesota guy through and through, but the Cubs were on TV every day. It was super easy and accessible, and he was so fun to watch. I remember in the late 80s, I don't remember exactly what season it was, but he had set an errorless streak, and that was like the fun of the summer. It was just like
over 120 games.
At second base. It was
almost 600 attempts.
Yeah.
Without an error.
At second base, yeah. And then some dude in the early 2000s with the Cubs broke that record, but it was just fun watching him do that. He's just so good. Oh, man.
Fantastic. Albertville, Minnesota. Good morning.
No, I don't know anything about Albertville. Can't tell you much.
No?
I have every intention of going there one day, and I'll tell you what I find.
Okay, well, let me know when you do. I know a guy.
Dang, fair enough. Good to have you with us, Albertville.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Let's say you're at home for the day. Let's say you got nothing going on. You don't have really any plans to go anywhere.
Okay.
You're just going to be around, putzing around the house, catching up on, I don't know, Netflix and whatnot. You take a shower, you towel off, do you put on deodorant? Yes or no?
No.
Hell no.
Yeah.
I would say in the winter, there's months. If it's 60 degrees outside, I'm probably not putting deodorant on.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I'm a sweaty dude. Not as sweaty as some.
Not as sweaty as me.
But still... Yeah, no, I still go out of there's days when I'm planning to be around people all day and I forget to put on deodorant. I mean, I'm just I'm shower fresh. Let's just see what happens. I don't know. It's just something about the process, I guess. I'd rather floss my teeth than put on deodorant half the time.
I would say that there is a close to 0% chance of putting on deodorant if I'm not leaving the house. And there's also a good chance, like you just said, if... I've gone to you know what? I'm not going to say which, but I've gone to a KQ cruise and forgotten deodorant. So
I can tell you which. So here's the thing. Okay, what about this? Do you brush your teeth?
I do.
Absolutely.
Because it feels weird if I don't.
Got it.
The deodorant thing doesn't cause a feeling.
Okay.
Right. You 100% agree. I'm like 3 times a day brushing teeth.
Wake up in the morning, not going to do anything. You don't take a shower. Do you still go to the sink and wash your face?
No.
No?
But I always take a shower. It just wakes me up or whatever. So yeah, shower, no deodorant, yes, washing my face, yes, brushing my teeth.
Okay,
shower sometimes.
Hang on, I'm writing this down.
Yes.
So okay.
If I don't shower, I will, if nothing else, just splash the face.
Sure?
Just because it feels good in the morning, you know, get all the cobwebs out of the eyeballs and all the crap and just, but a lot of times there's a shower involved. So
when I was a kid, I had so much crud in my eyebrows, eyelashes.
Yeah.
And there's a word for it. It's like buffritis or bluffritis or something like that.
Okay.
I mean, I went to it. My mom, when just getting my yearly checkup, was like, Steven, his eyelashes are full of crumbs. And the guy gave me a salve, and I would rub it in it was like dandruff of the eyelashes, is what one of my brothers called it, which of course gave me a complex. But it was really more just the sleep in your eyes or whatever. But it was really. it would just cake on. And then at one point, it just finally went away. I don't know if it was because of the salve or because I just willed it to go.
You outgrew that crap. I think that's what it was.
Is that what that was?
Seborrheic dermatitis.
Okay.
That's eyebrow dandruff.
I guess he gave me a word I could remember.
Sure.
Yeah.
Bluffritis or bluffritis,
Yeah.
something like
I don't know
that.
what the hell that was.
It was basically, I remember the salve and just thinking, this is just Neosporin in a different type of tube.
Maybe.
Because, of course, in my house, Neosporin, the answer for everything.
Right.
Have some under a Band-Aid on my thumb as we speak, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice.
Never, ever, ever sleep on your Neosporin. This is all hearkening back to a time when most of my favorite meals came out of cans.
Okay.
Don't kid yourself. There's a lot of things we used to eat in cans you may be surprised to be reminded of. Let's go back, shall we? Let's go back to mid-'80s. I was a college kid. My culinary skills, my culinary universe was two things, a saucepan and a can opener. That's all I needed.
Yeah, you're not alone.
I was opening a can or I was just, adding water to something else. And that was it.
Was this pre-microwave?
No, they had microwaves in the 80s. I just didn't have one. In a dorm? Nah.
Fair enough.
They wouldn't have trusted us with a microwave. But we had a microwave at the house when I was a kid. My dad brought one home from work. He worked at a bowling ball factory, and one day he was like, "We got a microwave, kids."
Did he win it in a raffle?
It was just there. It was probably like in the lounge at work, and he just figured, "Hey, I'll take this.
Yeah.
Who's gonna stop me?"
Right? We got a toaster oven sitting in the back room that I don't think anyone uses that might come home with me.
That microwave, by the way, very large by today's standards, and incredibly powerful. I mean, a hot dog, one lap, and it was bursting at the seams. They talk about nuking things. You can't nuke anything anymore. In the 70s, if you had a microwave, you were nuking some stuff, let me tell you. But beyond the microwave, everything came in a can back in the day. So that's me as a college kid. But go back to my childhood, more like 40 to 50 years ago. It's astonishing some of the things that we used to wolf out of cans. Canned tamales, by by a Gorman staple. Hey, not only canned tamales, there were old El Paso had canned tortillas.
No, how does that even work?
It's a large, flat. It's not a tall can, but it's a wide can. It's a big circumference, and you would open up the can, and there's just a stack of flour tortillas in there. Like the same things you now get in a plastic bag that just sits on a shelf forever. That used to come in a can.
Was there like water or oil in there? There was water in there?
There was just like, they were a little moist, a little moist. Not like sitting in water, but you could tell they'd had some hydration during the canning process.
Do you just eat them straight or did you heat them up
No,
somehow?
you would put them, you would have them with stuff. But
cheese roll up, man. Cheese roll up in the microwave
pretty much
all day.
That's it. But here, there's a few. If you start looking back, you realize, the can opener, there's a reason we had an electric appliance to open cans. We were using it constantly. Our hands weren't strong enough for a manual can opener. There was a brand called Sweet Sue, and they had, I'm not making this up, a canned whole chicken. Ugh. Now, that was a big can. That was a big can, for the record. 50-ounce can. Okay. And it said, "From the kitchen of Sweet Sue, without giblets, fully cooked, home-style goodness."
Well, if they leave out the giblets, I guess.
Okay, so this is like people go to Cub or whatever, and they pick up like a rotisserie chicken. This.
It's not that big. Not. These are smaller chickens. This is before we knew how to grow them artificially. But in a big-ass can, here's just a whole chicken.
God, just stop for a second. Just think, with all we've talked about already, think of how different grocery stores looked. Cans everywhere. Just cans on cans.
Oh, sure. Well, we used to, my brother Doug and I, he's 2 years older, we would ride on the side of the grocery cart as if we were garbage men, hanging on the back. And my mom would tell us, and we would jump off, grab the cans, and throw them in. We threw everything because everything was in a can. You could throw it, and then I'd say, go, and she would start to walk, and then I'd run and jump on the side like the garbage men did.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 70s were lit, man. I don't know how to. First text in, old El Paso canned tortillas were the best thing ever. Boom. right there. And then how about this one? I loved canned tamales. Oh, yeah. If you were around back in the day, your can opener was getting quite a workout. 651-989-ROCK. What else do you remember? Goodness from a can coming your way. So we're talking about canned foods that used to be normal. Used to find them everywhere you went. The text line exploded. Any good ones, Paul?
Oh, yeah. We got Libby's Vienna sausages.
Oh,
multiple votes for that one.
Yeah, no question about it.
Maybe my favorite, though, from Ken.
Okay.
Spam. And we're like, yeah, okay, Spam's still around. But Keeley notes when you had to use the attached key to open.
Oh, sure. Wind it down. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. You had to spin it back,
in the day of when you'd open a can of Coke and you'd have and you'd have the pull top with the ring and you'd have to throw that away.
Yeah.
And I used to put it in the can and my mom would go, "You'll swallow it." And I'm like, what kind of idiot would swallow this thing? And then, of course, the one time it did fall right into my mouth and I was like, I had to make sure she didn't notice. That was tough. Armor, for a brief period of time, the Armor Star Company had canned spare ribs on the bone.
What?
Ooh, like a McRib?
Like a McRib.
In a can.
In a can. The canning companies were really having a run back in the day. The final one, though, this is a very real item, which you can still find on Amazon. If you're feeling froggy, go ahead and hop. Rose, this is the name of the company, pork brains with milk gravy.
I would have never thought of that.
It's in a can, and for $15 per, you can get them on Amazon. Pork brains with milk gravy.
Ugh.
Go for it. Let us know how that works for you. Oh, man.
What are we even talking about right now?
Who says we have not progressed as a species?
There
Come
we go.
on.
I mean,
we gotta move. You say pork grains with milk gravy. It's time to just
get to
shut off
something
the microphone.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
I'm often struck when I see photos of my parents back when they were in their 20s because they look like they're in their 40s.
Okay.
When they were in their 30s, they look like they're in their 50s and so on and so on. If you go back, really, it's not till the 80s that people started looking a little younger with successive decades, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And now, I mean, I look in the mirror. I'm going to be 60 next month. I don't think I look 40, but I don't look 60. I'm somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Is what I just in my own head. Maybe I'm kidding myself. But when my dad was 60, that dude looked 60. He looked 70.
Yeah,
I mean,
look 40s.
It was just a whole different thing back in the day. And I often wonder if that's because back in the day, everyone got started earlier, so they aged quicker. And by earlier, I mean things like drinking, driving, more responsibility. You had a job sooner. I mean, we just forced people to grow up. Well, I don't mean we forced them. Our society, you grew up a lot quicker back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm
You know
sure
what I mean?
that 8 kids was also a factor.
Huge factor. Oh, yeah. Make no mistake. No doubt about it.
Back in the day, it was just part of life. You had to chip in, whether it be financially, chip in around the house, get out in the field, do some chores, et cetera, et cetera.
But, it's interesting now because there's a few things that are being discussed. The United Kingdom is lowering the voting age to 16 for the next national elections.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people in the U.S. who are saying it's time to do that here. The pro side is that voting is a habit, and it's a habit that you need to establish early on in life. Yeah. And if your 16-year-olds are taken to the polls and voting, it's something that can stick at an earlier age. If you're not keeping on top of people, and not getting them to the polls earlier, blah, blah, blah. It just leads to better habits in life. Like voting is something you do.
Makes sense.
And that makes perfect sense to me. And then, of course, the cons are like, well, 16-year-olds don't know anything about anything. And my reaction to that is, well, who does know anything about anything?
Yeah, they got a civics class, so I would put a 16-year-old against me. They're walking away with a right to vote that I might not get.
No question about it.
I was just going to say that. 16-year-olds a lot of times are way more plugged in than some adults are, for sure.
They've just hopefully received, that civics instruction. They understand it. And so I'm curious because a lot of people are saying that's way too young to vote. Those same people are suggesting we also need to raise the driving age. 16's too young to drive, so let's raise that. Let's get it up to 18. It's just interesting how these things, probably every generation looks at it differently. The older you get, the more you go into one corner with this. My kids are both excellent drivers, and I still thought they drove way too early.
Did they get their license right at 16?
Well, Connell did. Marley waited. But Connell did, and he understood the drill, which was if I don't think you're good, you're not driving. I mean, he didn't take that lesson with him to anything else in life, but for driving, he understood the priorities. But I just remember at some point in my 20s getting into a car with a friend's little brother and thinking, I'm about to die. And since then, all I've thought is 18, man. 18 years old for driving. This is crazy.
What? You gotta, once they start driving, though, like, you're done, right? Like, they can get themselves places.
No doubt about it.
My dad's big deal is like, hey, if you're going to have a job, you're going to need to know how to drive because I ain't taking you to Target.
Well, I was really hesitant for Connell to drive, and then one of my brothers said, hey, dumbass, he can take the car, and then you get to stay home. And I was like, that does make sense. But then again, I also, in my little fantasy world, we have, like, light rail that you can take everywhere and great public transportation. So why do – but that's not the case, and it does make sense.
I mean, I can see the argument for – I mean, maybe not as much with girls – but, you know, like I was a boy once, and I know how we act and how we behave in a car with other boys. You know what I mean? At the same time, I was pretty...
Spoiler for girl dad here. The girls do all the same things.
All right.
Boys are
it's
not
probably
boys.
different distractions, but distractions
nonetheless. Yeah.
Distractions nonetheless. Fair enough.
It's the sex and the drugs and the rock and roll and the goofing around.
At the same time, like me and my friends, we weren't ever that careless. I mean, we were distracted for sure, but I see plenty of adults that are full-blown watching an episode on Netflix while driving, 70 down a freeway. So
hey, I told you to keep that under your hat. I've been driving since the 80s. I can handle 6 or 7 episodes of Real Housewives season 1 if need be, going up 35W. Listen,
I was talking about that other guy, not you.
But here's the ultimate one though. What about the drinking age? Is 21? Does that make sense as we all age and look back? I don't know too many people that wait until they're 21 to actually drink, but the legal drinking age. I mean, and there's plenty of societies where they'll say, hey, man, in France, kids have wine at 12. And that may very well be true. Yeah, but this is an entirely different society and the cultural norms. And, this is the country that invented teen movies with red Solo cups. And trouble. Alcohol is for trouble. Alcohol is for bad teenagers. Alcohol is not a part of a family meal that takes 3 hours. And you discuss things like, what did you like to do when you were a child, Uncle Ken? I mean, that's not the American family experience.
Right. Unless you're in Wisconsin.
Well, there is
where
that.
You can take the kids to the bar.
Is that still a thing? What is that, so. Wisconsin?
Hit us up on the text line. But yeah, I believe if you're with your parents, there is no minimum drinking age.
Wait, what? Your kids can go to the bar and get a drink?
Yes.
No, not in the year 2025.
Exactly.
The year of our Lord, 2020. Okay,
2025.
I need some Wisconsin information.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, we definitely need somebody to hit up the talk and text line 651-989-ROCK. Around the world, the younger drinking, there's also restrictions on a lot of that. And so I think if we apply restrictions on drinking, at the same time, I can see the argument for brain not fully developed, et cetera, don't need that.
Well, I'm a big believer in all that stuff that just came around in the last apparently few years where they're like, that brain is nowhere nearly as developed as they once thought it was.
Right.
But, at the same time, if you're old enough to go to the Army, if you can go to the Army, but then again, here, two things, and this is where I'm going to lose a lot of people. I think voting should be compulsory, like in Australia. You have to vote.
You have to vote.
And I know people say that's un-American. You have the right not to. That's true, but shut up. Everyone should vote. That's my thing on that.
I'm going to agree with you. You're not going to lose me on that.
And then the other one is, it was such an important thing, I've already forgotten it. But the other one is this: everyone should do 2 years in the Army or in the military, compulsory service. If everybody did, let me tell you something, man, we'd be a lot better off because what's that?
I'd like to add 2 years of customer service on top of that.
I'm all for it. All for it.
Yes.
I went to college at 18 and just wasted 2 years of my life, which really, and I'm saying this as a guy that dropped out and bought a drum kit. I would have been way better served doing a 2-year stint in the military just to get my head together, to get some sort of discipline, to get a little focus. Countries where you have that compulsory service, maybe not military, but in some social service situation, nothing tells everybody better, hey, we're all in this. It's a team game. Everybody's got to serve. It's never going to happen, of course. Again, I'm talking about Gorman Island, the place that I'm going to, that I just live in my head.
Yeah, that's a cool place, though, I've heard.
651-989-ROCK, 651-989-ROCK. Let us know what you think of the ages here. And again, more importantly, let's have that Wisconsin, can you bring a kid into a bar information, if you don't mind.
Julie's got it. She's on the phone right now.
Oh, well then, my God. Julie, please enlighten us. Good morning, Julie.
She's an angel.
Good morning. I live in Prescott, and they tell me that if my kids are 14 and older, they can drink.
Wow. 14 and older, they can drink. But as long as they're with you.
Be there, right?
With a parent.
With a parent.
Okay, Julie, let me ask you a question, Julie. We also got a text that said some of it is based on the discretion of the bar or the bar owner. Can you validate that?
No, I cannot validate that. I just know that when I go into the bar, they ask my kids if they want to drink as long as mom says it's okay. I've had people offer to buy my kids drink.
Damn.
That's weird.
Julie, may I ask how old your kids are?
I can't hear you now.
How old are your kids, Julie?
You're going out on me.
Oh, no.
All right.
We lost Julie.
All right, Julie. Thanks for the call. Wow. All right, we appreciate that.
That feels like it feels like a foreign land to me. Like, that's crazy.
Well, it's not that far away. And
I know.
Serving people is always at the discretion of the bartender, regardless of your age.
That's a very good point right there. Man.
But I'm talking like legal. You know what I mean? Like, if you're legally able to drink, that's crazy to me to think that some kid that's 12 or 14 or whatever could walk into a bar with mom and dad and have a Coors Light. That's crazy.
The first time I had a beer with my son, he was already a college student. I mean, like, I didn't even allow that crap in high school. It's like, I know they were drinking, and it was like, if there was a few places, but I wouldn't drink. Like, he had a couple friends over once, and I said that was fine, but like, I wasn't gonna drink with them.
Yeah,
it's more like, no, I'm gonna be the douchebag dad who's just watching you, and I'd rather you do it here than somewhere else type of vibe.
Oh, that dad.
But we kept it. We kept it very like, we talked about it from a very early age, like. No, that's an adult thing. And I know all your friends in high school are going to go, let's do it. But your friends are stupid. There's not, my whole thing with my son especially was there's not a group of 4 high school boys in the world that aren't really, really dumb.
Yeah.
Just be the least dumb of your friends. Yeah. Like that's the goal. It's not to be smart. Be the least dumb. And, it's kind of worked out pretty well. 651-989-ROCK. Let us know your thoughts on this. And several other things. Voting, drinking, serving, whatever. What are the age limits, and are they okay, and do they make sense? Yeah, we're getting a lot of information. Thank you from Wisconsin. Both what the law says, and then, of course, just some actual experiences. Rochelle texted, grew up in northern Wisconsin, 70s and 80s. Yes, some of my first cocktails were with my parents. I cannot, for the life of me, begin to imagine drinking with my parents when I was a teenager.
Really? Did you drink with your parents ever?
Much later. Never with my dad. My mom occasionally, but she wasn't a big drinker. My parents didn't drink very much at all. There was the occasional cream de menthe. My mom would have a little liqueur. Fun fact, we moved from Maryland to Kentucky when I was 10. 2 days before the move, my mom was 49 years old, 48 years old, and she went across the street to see some of her friends who were having a farewell Imelda night, and they drank this crazy drink called a margarita. Had salt on the rim and all this. And my mom woke up the next day and thought she had the flu because she'd never had a hangover. And she was pushing 50. Yeah, I was 10, so she was 47. Had no idea what that was. So that's the house I grew up in.
Yeah, well... The margarita will do it.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
But that will explain why my dad was always in such a bad mood. Dude, have a scotch. You're Irish, for crying out loud. What's the matter with you? We're talking about drinking age, voting age, all kinds of things. Driving age. Are the numbers where they should be? A lot of text messages, especially from our friends to the east. What do we got, Paul?
Paige said, I'm from Minnesota. My grandparents are from Wisconsin, and I will say Wisconsinites do it weird. I was supposed to be a sober cab driver for my grandparents and their friends at 15. I had the bar buying me drinks.
So, 15 years old, your job is designated driver for your grandparents and their friends, and yet the bar was still providing you with cocktails.
Listen, my best friend had a kid on St. Patty's Day. I am so excited for that little girl to turn 16. We are going to have a blast that day.
Wow.
Yes.
Hey, and you know what? We'll always welcome random cheap shots at Iowa. Rick from Prior Lake said, why does the wind blow from the north? Because Iowa sucks.
Well, sure it does.
Thought we'd work that one
We
in.
know that. Hey, you know who doesn't suck is the Flaming Lips. That's as great a live band as you're ever going to have a chance to see.
True.
Whether you care for their music or not, you cannot deny that the live experience of the Flaming Lips is very, very special. They're playing in town with Modest Mouse, and we're going to give away some tickets just a few minutes from now. We got a little game called WTF, Wisconsin, Texas, Florida. That's coming up in about 5 minutes and 2 songs.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
August 15th is a little bit further down the road than Thursday, and the Flaming Lips and Modest Mouse are going to be at the Armory that night. And we want to give away a couple tickets, but first we're going to play a game. Wisconsin, Texas, Florida, WTF, Ryder's version.
Yes.
Ryder's going to play us some clips from 3 news stories. We will attempt to discern from whence they came, Wisconsin, Texas, or Florida. Doesn't mean that there's one from each. It could be all 3 from the same state, but the answer will be either Wisconsin, Texas, or Florida. Does that make sense?
Yeah. God, I love
so.
the insanity of this game. Let's go.
Well,
Let's do it.
This week I got machetes, I got cocaine, and I got a bowling ball cannon. All right. Here we go.
Machetes, cocaine, and a bowling ball cannon.
Let's go.
Wow, it's like the PBA tour in the 70s.
sounds like an album cover, or an album title.
Okay, we're going to do, there's a couple of quickies, and then we'll get a little bit more involved. But here is your first one.
Time a lawnmower is used to cut the grass. Sometimes, though, it's a getaway car. That's right, a getaway car. PBSO says a man cutting his lawn and was waved over by another man. And deputies say that's when the man who waved him over took out a machete and started swinging. The worker was able to get away fast enough on that riding mower. Deputies charged the machete-wielding man, it's not quite clear why all that started, with assault with a deadly weapon and resisting an officer.
Okay.
Okay, first one, escapes the machete attack on a riding lawnmower. Okay.
I like it.
Can't believe that you, have a machete in this thing, and then you get away. Your getaway car is a John Deere. It's unbelievable.
It's crazy. Yeah, okay. So, here we go. Story number 2.
A woman told police that wind blew cocaine into her purse. Officers say Kenesha Posey was one of 2 passengers in a car stopped for driving erratic in They say the car smelled of marijuana, and a search turned up cocaine and marijuana inside a purse Posey had on her lap. When asked how the substances got there, Posey told police, quote, "I don't know anything about any cocaine. It's a windy day. It must have flown through the window and into my purse."
That's how it always
She's
happens.
charged with a felony count of cocaine possession and a misdemeanor count of marijuana possession.
I feel like some good lawyering could make that work.
It always happens. How many times have you heard over the years of cocaine blowing into people's purses? It happens all the time.
An epidemic. All right. Okay, and here we go. This one's a little bit more involved, but here's your third one.
I'll know the dangers of 4th of July fireworks, but this story takes the boom to a whole new level.
A man firing a bowling ball cannon, damaging a neighbor's barn, and in the end, the owner found a dead horse. We've said it before. Sometimes you just can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't. Lisa Kroll felt her house shake on the 4th of July, but she thought it was one of her neighbors lighting fireworks. Turns out they were shooting bowling balls out of a homemade cannon, and several of them landed a few hundred feet from her house.
So there's a hole up in the top of the barn that's just temporarily patched.
Everyone expects to hear fireworks on the 4th of July.
We thought they were lighting off huge M80s or something. We didn't know,
But Lisa Kroll says her next-door neighbors got a strike during their holiday celebration in more ways than one.
It'd be like if somebody just took a rifle and started shooting at your house, or it's pretty much the same thing.
Kroll says when she went to feed her horses on the 5th of July, she found a bowling ball that had gone through the roof of her barn and landed a few feet from several of her horses.
This is the manger where they eat, so it came right by her head.
And the trailer where a friend was sleeping. In all, Kroll discovered more than a half dozen bowling balls and pins in the field next to her house, along with a dead 10-month-old horse with a head wound that she believes was hit by one of the flying objects.
Come on.
At least it was a horse and not a human, but it was it was a very nice horse that got killed, and yeah, it was very unfortunate.
It turns out the brother of one of Kroll's neighbors brought a homemade cannon to his sister's house to celebrate the 4th of July. He admitted to police he shot a total of 10 bowling balls and 10 bowling pins out of the cannon, and he was sorry they made it to Kroll's property nearly a half-mile away.
We're prosecuting 34 years, and this is the first case we've had where somebody is shooting bowling balls out of a cannon.
Kroll believes she avoided a tragedy with only a few feet to spare.
Where do you think bowling balls and bowling pins belong?
In a bowling alley.
Well,
not on my property, please. It's like fire them at your own house.
Now, Kroll says the damage to her barn and horse was about $14,000. In the meantime, Ricky Thorne of charged with recklessly endangering safety as well as negligent handling of a weapon.
Oh no! Oh jeez!
Oh,
I
thought we were
can
cool.
laugh off the horse thing.
I thought we were cool when we had tennis ball cannons. You remember those? You just put a little lighter fluid in the tube and you shake it up and you drop the tennis ball in and you light the bot. No one.
Is it kind of like a potato gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
All
right.
If you can build a cannon at home that will launch a bowling ball, even a little 10-pounder, half a mile, the U.S. Army wants you to go work for them.
Yeah.
What in the hell?
And if you have that capability, maybe put a watermelon in there instead of a bowling ball.
I feel like that'd still kill a horse.
Here's what I want. I want one day to have the patience and humility to laugh off $14,000 worth of damage. Because that kid, the lady was like, I know, but still, she's just like she thought it was hilarious.
I saw a kid get hit in the head with a 9-volt battery that someone had thrown really far. So someone just threw a random up as high as they could, and it came down. And my buddy Davey Hull, it looked like JFK after that thing got finished with his head.
Oh no!
I mean, it wasn't a huge wound, but head wounds bleed. Right. I mean, it was traumatic. That's a 9-volt battery. A bowling ball coming in. Look out! All right. I'm already feeling pretty confident about these. Brian in Spring Lake Park has got the answers apparently, but let's recap quickly and see where we're at. The first story, Ryder.
Okay, first story is getting away from a machete attack on a riding lawnmower.
Yes, it is.
All right.
I can't get the image out of my head of a guy chasing a lawnmower driver with a machete.
You say the word machete, and the first thing that comes to mind is Texas. So I'm saying it's the Lone Star State. Fletcher?
Okay. Fletcher, what you got?
My initial thought was Wisconsin, but I had the exact same thought that you did, and I came to the conclusion of Texas as well.
Brian, give him the answer. Nope.
Brian?
Brian, they there?
Oh, yeah. Florida.
Oh, come on.
All right.
I mean, I guess you chop through the Everglades probably with a machete.
I guess so.
That you would.
Story number 2.
Okay, here we go. A woman gets caught with cocaine. She says it was a windy day and it blew into her purse. Fletcher?
Scarface comes to mind immediately when I think of cocaine, and Scarface is Miami, and Miami is Florida.
I also went with the Sunshine State, sunnier when high, Florida.
Okay. Brian, what's the verdict?
Florida.
Florida's right. All right, one for each of you.
All right.
And here we go. The bowling ball cannon that killed a horse.
The bowling ball cannon, I'm just thinking that's got to be upper Midwest. I'm going Wisconsin.
My initial thought was was Texas, but I don't know. There was something in the way that she talked that I was thinking Wisconsin.
What do we got, Brian?
So we got Wisconsin for both of them?
Yep.
That would be Wisconsin.
Nice.
We bounced back.
Fair enough.
We had the same answers there, Steve Gorman.
We did.
Doesn't happen often.
We went 2 for 3, but more importantly, Brian went 3 for 3. Therefore, Brian has tickets to see the Flaming Lips and Modest Mouse. Very well done.
Awesome.
Good.
Thank you.
You got it. Thank you. Good batch of stories, Ryder.
And just a tip of the hat to Fox 9's Maury Glover. That's who you hear on that bowling ball cannon story. I think that one's about 10 years old.
Oh, that's a great one.
Good find.
I want to know where that cannon is right now and if it's still operational.
Yeah, New Richland, we're talking to you.
It's Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder, 92 KQRS.
Lenny Kravitz, Fly Away. There were no flights on the afternoon or evening of 9/11 back in 2001, of course. After the planes were hijacked and everything unfolded, the first thing the FAA did was ground everything and everybody. Air Force One was like the only, and military jets were the only planes in the air.
Right.
Yeah. I had some friends that live by the airport. They said eerily quiet for like days.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was, I was in Los Angeles on 9/11. And, that whole day to be in that city and not see a single thing. Anyone you talk to anywhere near a major airport, I've, had that conversation. One flight on the night of 9/11, there was a request put in to the FAA. We need to get a plane up. 6 hours of negotiating, and at about 3 a.m. on September 12th, they said, okay, we'll allow it. So there was one private plane that was allowed to fly from San Diego to Miami in the early morning hours of September 12th. That plane was escorted by 2 fighter jets that picked it up, took it across country, and then, they would trade shifts from bases along the way. It always had an escort all the way from San Diego to Miami. Okay. Here's what that plane was doing. It was flying anti-venom because a gentleman in Florida had been bitten by a very, very dangerous venomous snake, and the only anti-venom they could find was in San Diego.
Wow.
So imagine on 9/11, as the world is going through that, you're a guy who's handling a venomous snake and it bites you. And I don't have the anti-venom, and then someone tells you, oh, by the way, it's in San Diego.
It's like I just got bitten by the snake.
Yeah,
every muscle in my body is clenched right now, and they still negotiated for 6 hours.
It took a long time to get anybody to allow a single plane to take off. And when it was that plane, it was a plane carrying vials and vials of antivenom. The guy that was bitten was 62 years old. So he really, the younger you are, the better. Yeah. He did survive. They got it to him in time to save him. And that's what it took to get that flight off. The fact that some guy was going to go. And by the way, I just think about that story and I think if one other guy at the FAA had taken that phone call, it could have easily been like, I don't care. No way. Not happening.
Yeah, too bad.
Well, here's the thing. If you're going to scramble jets to go with the plane, why didn't you just throw the venom in one of the jets?
Listen,
revisionist.
I don't think you want. I don't think you want to ask a fighter pilot to handle the anti-venom too. Everybody's got their own jobs to do here.
There's 2 seats there.
So if you happen to look up, and if you were in the southern part of this country on September 12th and saw one plane flying by, that flight was bringing anti-venom to a guy who'd been bitten by a venomous snake.
That would have been weird.
As a snake-phobic knucklehead like me, my whole life, I hear that story and I'm like, all right, somebody made the right call. Just fascinating to think about.
That's crazy.
Well, what are you going to do? Time for the last word.
All right.
If you know any aspiring baseball players, either if you're a coach or if you're a parent, if you're an uncle, if you're a neighbor, anybody with a knack for baseball, if their first name is Aurelio, listen up.
Oh, really?
There have been 3 Major League Baseball players with the first name Aurelio. Aurelio Monteagudo, Aurelio Lopez, and Aurelio Rodriguez. All 3 of them died in car accidents.
No.
What?
So if you know a young lad named Aurelio and he's a good baseball player, just really, really tell him to take public transit.
Yes.
How weird is that?
Or maybe it's time to switch over to hockey.
In the history of baseball, which goes back as far as dirt has been on planet Earth, 3 Aurelios, 3 car accidents.
Oh, no.
Steer clear of the cars, Aurelio. All right. That is your last word for today. Tomorrow on this show, let's see. Beat the Jock, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be playing a game. We got Flaming Lips and Modest Mouse tickets yet again for Beat the Jock. What's coming up?
Say Beat the Jock with such disdain every time
it's terrible.
Comes up.
Although, you know what? We crushed last week.
You did.
So maybe there's hope for us.
Good.
Maybe there's still hope.
2 in a row? Fat chance. What's coming up next, Fletcher?
That's fair. I've got commercial freedom just before noon, and I was at a rock show last night where a band covered Purple Rain. I'll tell you about them because there's a cool story that kind of goes with that as I play Purple Rain shortly after 10.
Fair enough. As we speak, I just got a text from the Philippines telling me I need to pay a traffic fine. I don't think it's real. I don't think it's real.
Gorman in the morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.